What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 40th Annual International Peace Day. 40 years ago, it all began in San Francisco with an extraordinary woman named Avon Madison. And we're going to actually see a video from when Avon was on this show 4 years ago. This is the 5th year now that we've been operating as the Global Peace Tribe and that we have celebrated the International Day of Peace. And so tonight's going to be a unique show. I'm going to be showing what's happening all around the world. And I'm curious, for those of you that are with us, who's been watching the Hubcast media show? I see Roger and Bonnie right off the bat raise their hands. So please put into the chat box what you've seen so far, what stood out for you, and what does peace mean? You know, hopefully I'll be able to find the interview I did with Tez Gabriel. And in the San Francisco event today, she kept pointing out that we, each and every one of us as individuals, are the pathway to peace. What does that mean to each of you? What does it mean to be the pathway to peace? I would like to be able to hear that from you. And I'm really excited to share a brand new pair of videos. I just started a new synergy group within the Evolutionary Leaders Network, which I'm part of. And you've seen so many of my friends that are members of the Evolutionary Leaders Network. But honestly, most of us are 50, 60 plus, and most of us are white. And I've been really, from the moment I got involved, I've been a pretty loud voice of we've got to bring in younger people and we've got to bring in people of color. And so they said, well, Scott, the best way to do it is why don't you start a synergy circle with young people. And so I've done that. And so I'm going to share with you a pair of videos created by this new synergy group, which I'm kind of helping to shepherd a little bit, but they did it all on their own. And here's the first one of two that I'll show tonight. I'm going to kind of space it out. This is from Maggie Rose Lacosta and Marley Benedicto. Now, you've seen Maggie on this show as a KES group healer. But she's also a brilliant videographer. And so here is Marley and Maggie's vision for peace in the world and the video that they created just for today. Whoops, you've already seen that video tonight. Let me get the right one up here. Here we go. And they call this Rise for Peace.
Once we walked with the light of the sun in our hearts. Consciousness was a river flowing through our veins, but greed, fear, division crept in like the shadows at dusk, and what was once whole began to fracture. Cracks in the earth, cracks in our spirits.
I am the hand that digs deep into the soil, not to nurture but to take, to mine, to frack, to strip bare the bones of the earth. Power and profit are the gods I serve, and I will sacrifice your children to them, for I am relentless and my hunger knows no bounds.
But even in the darkest night, a single flame can be seen. Hope is not just a word, but a force, an ember that ignites revolutions. Those who long for peace must rise, not with silence, but with the roar of creation, with hands that build and voices that sing the dawn.
And in the shadows, there were those who did not bow. They carried the torch even when the wind howled. They knew that the smallest spark could light the way, that a single voice could echo through eternity.
From the ashes of conflict they rose, Gandhi with the salt of the earth in his hands, Mandela who broke the chains that bound us, Malala who carried the weight of 1,000,000 silenced voices. They carried the torch of peace, knowing there would come a time where we had no choice but to return to love.
The great leader Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. It is a light we must bring, and love is the only force that can heal the wounds of hate." A new consciousness is rising, a tide that washes over borders, sees not nations but one beating heart. We are the threads woven into the fabric of this earth, and it is our hands that will mend the tears.
Those who listen to the whispers of the wind, who feel the pulse of the earth beneath their feet, they will lead us into the dawn, for they know that peace is not passive. It is a force that shapes mountains, a river that carves valleys, a revolution that begins within the heart.
Today the storms still rage, but light breaks through. The wars that once consumed us are fewer, and the earth, she begins to heal. The cracks are filled with green, the scars softened by time.
We stand at a crossroads. One path leads back into the shadows, the other towards the light. Will we be the generation that turns back, or the one that steps boldly into the future?
Peace is not just the absence of war, it's loving thoughts about one another. Returning to the Earth Mother, it is justice born of struggle, kindness rooted in strength, love carved from the stone of our souls. It is something we must build, not once but every day, in every breath we take, every word we speak.
The earth can thrive, but only if we remember our place in her arms. We are the guardians, the healers, the hands that will shape her future. The power of peace lies within us all, in the choices we make, the lives we lead. Let us walk this path together and create the world we wish to see.
And so, we step into the light, not as fractured souls, but as one humanity. The path of peace is long, it is steep, but together we will rise, together we will climb.
Peace on earth, now and forevermore.
Let me unmute myself. Oh, what did you all think of that video? And I'm going to read a lot of comments. I'm going to interact a lot with you. Since I don't have Omashore, you are my Omashore tonight. So I'm going to interact with you. Our wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson, writes, profound power of healing together. Susan Bloomquist writes, I love the phrase, peace is not passive. Roger and Bonnie writes, I've been impressed with the professionalism and the comprehensive coverage throughout the world. I particularly was moved by the segment covering what has been going on in Rwanda since the country's massacre of over 1 million people, and how they've managed forgiveness in the lieu of such loss. This is Phil Rogers speaking. We have loved seeing all of our Global Peace Tribe friends participating and sharing their gifts. Tatiana shared a song she had written just 2 hours before she performed it. What an amazing talent. I'm going to show Tatiana playing in just a moment. That's going to be something we're going to go to fairly soon. More from Jerry. He says, yes, I started early this AM from Japan, and then today during New York City and San Francisco. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to watch our friends in Japan, and it was beautiful to hear Kristen playing with Pookie Lee and Bob, and Omashar's there, and so I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and I then went to San Francisco, hosted the online. I'm hoping they're going to be able to get me tonight the footage of all the interviews I did, because I interviewed Tez Gabriel, who's the executive director of Pathways to Peace. And well, I won't go through all the people I interviewed, but I did about a dozen interviews, and I want to hopefully show some of those tonight. But I want to show you the other video from our new group that I'm really, really proud of. And let me pull that up here. Here we go. So this is been edited by Tatiana. We were just talking about Tatiana Speed. This was edited by her. Oh, you know what? I'm going to read a few more comments that have just come in. And Sylvia, by the way, sent us hundreds of her cranes. I kept 4 of the ones I liked the most, Sylvia, and the rest I took to the table, the Pathways to Peace table, where they gave them out to everybody who came. So thank you to Sylvia for creating hundreds of cranes and mailing them to me. Where is she? I'm going to put her on if I can find her. There she is. So thank you, Sylvia. Your cranes are all over San Francisco now.
Thank you. The box also had butterflies and the dragon that you just told that held up, and hearts and all sorts of things. So thank you deeply for bringing them to the celebration today.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll show you the ones I kept. I kept this one. This is my favorite one, the golden one.
That's actually, I think that's the Pegasus dragon.
Yeah, Pegasus dragon. That's about right. Yeah.
A quick question: did you receive any other cranes from?
I just received one box from you.
Okay, because the Becky Suzik had published the video of me teaching people how to fold cranes and gave your address. So I didn't know if you would receive any other cranes from that.
No, not yet. Not yet. Just yours.
The hope is that they be distributed at other events if you do receive any more. So
thank you so much, Sylvia. Let's all twinkle Sylvia for making hundreds and hundreds of cranes. I'm going to go to gallery view, and let's all twinkle and appreciate Sylvia for doing that. That was pretty awesome. Thank you, Sylvia. Reading a few more comments from all of you. Dora came to the end of the San Francisco event. We must have just missed each other, but you got to hug Connie and Andrew. Connie and Andrew are here. They came down for it. Piper Dellums was there. Trish, of course, who co-hosted with me for 3 years, came. It was really, really fun. Okay, let's take a look at this beautiful video, edited and narrated by Tatiana, featuring 19 of our new generation, and the Synergy Group, by the way, is called New Generation of Awakening World Leaders. So please meet 19 of these young people, all 40 and under, who are delivering what peace means to them.
The next generation of leaders for an awakening world are rising. We come from every corner of this planet. We are every color. We speak every language, and we are filled with dreams. On the International Day of Peace, we let our voices ripple out with our hopes, dreams, and prayers for what this world can become. And we share this message with you, a message that transcends borders and unites hearts. Let it remind you that we are here. We are finding each other. We are ready to speak, ready to lead, and the world we want to build together is beautiful.
Hello everyone, today I want to share a message about inner peace with you, because I see there is a lot of talk about I really
noticed that it just paused, and I don't know why. Hmm. It's I'm going to close it and try restarting it, which happens sometimes. And all sorts of people coming into the Zoom room. Welcome those of you who have just arrived. And yeah, I'm not quite sure why that happened. Let's try it again.
Where is Omashah when you need him?
Absolutely. Well, actually, this is probably not an Omashar thing. This is a why isn't the video playing past a certain point thing.
No, he's so good at covering.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to pick it up where we left off.
The next generation of leaders for an awakening world are rising. We come from every corner of this planet. We are every color.
Try this again. I think I've got it queued up. Thank you, everybody, for your incredible patience, but it's worth it. Here we go. Oh, but it was playing a moment ago for me. Well, take a breath, and we're going to try something else. We're going to read a few more comments that have come in, and then I've got to pull up a couple of other things. Carol Craig attended this morning's Twin Ray Sadhana. Who's been doing that? Who's been doing the sadhanas with Twin Ray on Saturday mornings? People are saying that they had trouble with the Hubcast platform. So that's, this is all brand new. So I'm sorry to hear that people had a challenge with it. As you can see, I'm having a challenge right now with some of the videos. And there were some technological issues that took place. I am going to play the Tatiana song in a moment. But give me a moment, because what I'm going to try and do is find another version of the video. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this to play. And please do put into the chat box what peace means for each of you, okay?
Part of our intention for the show is...
Hopefully this is going to play. So, 4 years ago, we were doing our Global Peace Tribe. Back then it was called Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. Some of you were with us back then. Many of you, there's Bonnie and Roger were, and Jeffrey, Sylvia, many of you. So I really appreciate those of you who've been with us for all these years. So you may remember this. Avon Madison is the co-founder of Pathways to Peace. And she was really the primary visionary for it. And so we were celebrating today. It was International Peace Day. We were celebrating it with Ben Bowler co-hosting the show with me. And he arranged for Avon to come on and give a history lesson about Pathways to Peace and International Peace Day. And she was very frail, but she did it. And she passed away 1 week later. And this was her last public appearance. So I'm going to play this video, which hopefully will play well, where we can see this beautiful woman, Avon Madison, in her final days of life and her final public appearance, sharing with us the history and her vision. And it starts with Ben Bowler, who was my co-host at that time. This was 4 years ago today.
Part of our intention for the show is honoring the peacemakers and the wayshowers. And really, our next speaker epitomizes what that means to be a wayshower and to be a peacemaker. Avon Madison. Avon is an extraordinary visionary with an incredible history, co-founder of Pathways to Peace, instrumental in those early conversations, which even led to the eventual establishment of an International Day of Peace and the early observances of the International Day of Peace. Avon is a recipient of numerous lifetime awards and peace awards. Avon Madison, welcome to Saturday Night Alive. Let's get you unmuted. There we are.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here, and may I live up to everything you say. and to Scott and Deborah for just creating this field in which we can all gather in goodwill for the common good and the highest good, for the benefit of all beings.
Beautiful, Avon. Now I'm going to share you have a slideshow. You've prepared a slideshow to take us through those early days of the International Day of Peace and how it came to be. And right back to the very, very early 80s. I've been learning so much and getting an education from Avon about this incredibly important piece of history for anybody in the peace movement, in any part of the peace movement globally. And this is something I'm really excited to share with you, Avon's wisdom and her story. So let's get into it, Avon Madison. Co-founder, president, and steward of Pathways to Peace. Take it away, Avon.
All right. Well, first of all, I need to tell you, this is an unrehearsed dance between Ben and myself, where I'm going to be reading my my notes, and at the same time, excuse me, and at the same time, he's going to be dancing with the slides. To begin, we all follow in the pathways of those who've come before us, especially at critical moments in human history and evolution of humanity, where divine ideas become manifested. Such occurred 40 years ago in relation to the co-creation of the International Day of Peace, and humanity is now at this crucial moment again. Thus, the importance and relevance of the International Day of Peace today. A brief origin of this day and about the initial observance. In 1981, a long-held idea came into manifestation to create a universal day of peace through a United Nations resolution. An initial draft included the date for this peace day to be September 21st for spiritual and practical reasons. However, in order to have it accepted, it was changed to occur at the opening of the General Assembly during the third week in September to remind the gathering of all the heads of state and ambassadors of their common commitment to peace above all differences of any kind. I'm going to now just briefly quote from a couple of items of the original resolution, which I will, Ben or I will post in the chat box. But it was, it said this decision was made to make it possible to contribute to strengthening such ideals of peace and to alleviating the tensions and causes of conflict, both within and among nations and peoples. It also said that the International Day of Peace shall be devoted to commemorating and strengthening the ideals of peace, both within and among all nations and all peoples. And there was a further point within that that just said, may the International Day of Peace become Peace Day every day. Just a side note of how important this was. In 1981, what is so extraordinary about this UN resolution was that it occurred during a crisis of a very, very divided world. At the height of the Cold War, when nuclear war was imminent. And Jonathan Granoff knows very much about this. What is so historic is that this resolution was agreed upon unanimously by all member states who established a universal day of peace. That just shows that at some moment there was such an outpouring of goodwill that permeated the General Assembly. And you can switch slides now. That permeated the General Assembly, that this moment occurred, that in 40 years ago, that has become even more significant as we are now in a multi-crisis intersection within humanity. The first observance of the International Day of Peace, we found out that absolutely nothing was happening at the United Nations or anywhere else in the world, except the traditional minute of silence that opened the General Assembly. So Pathways to Peace initiated the Peace Wave, the minute of silence, moment of peace at noon in every time zone, as a unitive act of peace, not only for the International Day of Peace, but for every day. And after that, and that also began a focus point where people could take part in the International Day of Peace, either during that particular day or during Peace Weekend, Peace Week, and it eventually all evolved into Peace Month, which was September. The first celebration of the International Day of Peace occurred in San Francisco, the birthplace of the United Nations, where the charter was signed. And it was joined by people in over 70 countries. And this became historic because it was focused on not only, this was before internet ever existed, so this was all spread by word of mouth, by letters, and by faxes, essentially. And it was intergenerational, intercultural. And what was so extraordinary also was that at the noontime Peace Wave, it was the first time that a minute of silence was ever broadcast on television and called the Sounds of Silence throughout the world. Beginning in 1984, Pathways to Peace began summarizing the reports of all the activities that were occurring during the International Day of Peace, including all those during Peace Weekend and Peace Week, etc., to the Office of the Secretary General. And I think you have a slide that shows that, Ben. And this was at the request of the Office of the Secretary General, and Pathways to Peace did that for the next 24 years. In the year 2000, the United Nations and other sources estimated that over 1 billion people were now engaging in the Universal International Day of Peace. As originally intended and hoped for in 1984, and as Ben spoke of in his opening remarks, the International Day of Peace became a worldwide movement of peace building, being expressed in extraordinarily diverse ways. And this is such a magical way that the divine works out, expressing peace as unity in diversity. So I will conclude with a quote from Nicholas Roerich, who was a peace builder, mystic, philosopher, and very extraordinary peace ambassador in many ways. But this is the next slide will show a painting by him, which he did in the Himalayas. And I will now give this quote. Positive creativeness is the fundamental quality of the human spirit. Let us welcome all those who, surmounting personal difficulties, propel their spirits to the task of peace building, thus ensuring a radiant future. Thank you.
Thank you, Avon. And if you want to just come back on camera just for a moment, thank you so much for that beautiful walk down the history of before there was even an International Day of Peace, and everything that you've done, Avon, and many colleagues and co-creators, Pathways to Peace, a platform, and it's a tale full of incredible characters. People who have given their life to really establishing what we now have as this International Day of Peace. It didn't always exist. And thank you for taking us a little bit, just giving us a little snapshot into the history and the origin of the International Day of Peace in those early years of celebrating Peace Weekend, Peace Week, and Peace Month. And thank you for being with us and for sharing your light and that beautiful wisdom with us today.
That was 1 week before she passed away. And it's interesting, isn't it, how even the way she looks very ethereal. You know, she's kind of like half with us and half not. So I hope that was valuable for you. And one of the interviews that I did today, and if I'm not able to show them today, I'll do another follow-up show, was with the woman that she co-founded Pathways to Peace with, who wrote this book called A Tale of Two Sisters, all about Pathways to Peace. And I interviewed Joni, who authored the book, and along with Avon, before Avon passed away. And it was all about how they created Pathways to Peace. So there's a rich history here. I'm going to play a Tatiana song in a moment, but I'm going to read some of the other comments that have come in from all of you. Carol points out, her voice was strong, though. Grace writes, that was wonderful, Scott. Thank you so much. Oh, good, Grace. Thank you. Yes, Dawn, Avon is now a peace angel, and we all were feeling her. You know, that her spirit was very present in San Francisco and probably right now with us. Yes, Carol, maximum grace to Avon. Oh, good. People are beginning to write what peace means to them, so I appreciate that, and I want to hear from all of you if possible. Don Drake writes, for me, peace begins with my own willingness to feel into my own wounded parts when they arise, letting go of the need to blame others for my own pain. That is the first step to a peaceful world. The next step is to help others develop this skill in themselves. It's beautiful. Thank you, Don. Carol writes, I graduated from university that same year. It was a very intense time. And she also writes, this is from Carol Craig, peace for me is radical acceptance of what is happening in the world and my immediate space without reacting dramatically, but instead responding with ease and understanding. God bless you, Carol. It's beautiful. Susan Blomquist writes, peace is the act of living in harmony with all that you encounter, knowing you have an effect by acting this way. People talk about the challenges they've had with Hubcast, which I'll pass on to them. Dora says the San Francisco event was very erratic on Hubcast. Okay, George and Susan at the Sadhana. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm using two computers, and I'm going to go to my other computer where I have queued up Tatiana in Vancouver. You know, there's all these different things happening in different parts of the world. Here's Tatiana in Vancouver being introduced by my friend Michael Krauss, who I was working with quite closely today. So hopefully this is going to play just fine.
years. Ay, 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 Sacred Father, Sacred Son. Children, we are all children.
Welcome back to the studio for Unite for Peace live from Hubcap Studio in Vancouver, together with my co-host Michaela. We're really, really honored to introduce Tatiana Speed, who has been incremental in this in the design and in the feel and through her voice and her music in this day today. You appeared in so many videos. You created so much music for all the different organizations that are attached to it, and it felt like it was a celebration for you. And I feel it should be a celebration for you because the purity of your heart and the spirit of your music always touches me at a level that not many. We will hear more from you later on today in the program. To reach. So please stand by. Welcome, Tatiana Speed. And now we're going to go to maybe you want to share a little bit, or you want to in jump right into Santa Barbara on the West Coast in California. Welcome to the program, Lizzie. And you're part of the Global Society, and just wanted to. It is truly an honor. See what.
Yeah, it's been so special creating for this event and showing up both as a songwriter and as a filmmaker and to play for you live. And now we've got a puppy dog.
Where there is music, there is puppy dogs.
There's beautiful dogs and beautiful humans. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so thank you, Michael, for that introduction. It's such an honor to be here with you, and I love everything you guys are doing, and the way you've brought the world together for this just touches my heart. Japan, San Francisco, New York, Geneva, Vancouver, we've really united from around the world, and it's exciting to be a part of it. I really could feel the energy building to this moment.
And we're not finished yet.
And we are not finished yet by any means. So I'm going to play you a few songs, a couple songs. The first one I'll play is off my new album. And when I feel into how we bring peace on earth, I feel like first we have to start within ourselves, and in offering ourselves that empathy, that self-love, that self-compassion, really healing and bringing what we long to see in the world to ourselves. And so this song speaks to that. And then from that place, we can offer that same depth of compassion and empathy and love to others, to our relationships. So this song is called Let Love Carry Us Home. I turn towards myself with a rose of forgiveness and a lily of mercy and gentleness. I turn towards my heart as the altar of redemption. Please remind me how to love. Remind me why I came. All these years, all of the ages, struggling so hard to find my way. All these years, all of the ages, and all of this time, I've been held in love's embrace. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya. Let love carry me home. Let love carry me home. Let love carry me. Let love carry me home. I turn towards you with a rose of forgiveness and a lily of mercy and understanding. I turn towards your heart as the altar of our love. I'm so sorry for missing you so completely. All these years, all of the ages, struggling, fighting, and forgetting. All these years, all of the ages, and all of this time, we've been held in love's embrace. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya. Let love carry us home. Let love carry us home. Let love carry us. Let love carry us home. That's really my prayer, that love carries all of us home, home to ourselves, home to each other, home to this earth. We are so much more than we ever knew. I see it so clearly, I see you. We are so much more than we ever knew. I open my heart to the truth. We are so much more than we ever knew. I see it so clearly, I see you. We are so much more than we ever knew. I open my heart to the truth. Thank you, everyone. So that's called Let Love Carry Us Home. And the next song I want to play is a bit of a vibe change. This is a song I wrote for Home for Humanity, which I think many people are familiar with this organization and the incredible work that they're doing. Today, they started the One Home journey. They're on their way, I think right now in midair to South Africa, where they're beginning a 7-year journey around the world for 7 generations, seeding homes for humanity around the world and creating this incredible wave of unity and peace. And this is a song that I wrote for them that really, what I was trying to do is really capture just the essence of this movement and this vision that they have. So this is called the One Home Anthem. For too long, too many people have been left homeless. For too long, we haven't seen enough progress. For too long, exiled, displaced, and alienated, people walk this earth devastated. For too long, we've lived in separation, forgotten our true nation, this earth the home to all future generations, cut off from life, cut off from each other. We've forgotten nature, our only mother. This disconnect is our deepest wound. Towards wholeness, we must reattune. Whole life, whole person, whole systems, all cultures, one planet. If you feel this truth, let's stand for it. Let's reclaim home as the destination. Choose inclusion over separation. and build a refuge, a sanctuary, a place of healing that nurtures and supports all beings. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. It starts within. It starts with me. It starts with you. Can we turn to ourselves and see ourselves anew? What do we love? What do we cherish? For what do we stand on this beautiful planet, this sacred land? It starts with community, creation, culture. Can we build together, my sister, my brother? It starts right here, right now. Put the seeds in the ground until life springs up all around. And we can walk through our garden, this home that we make. Together we change humanity's fate. And from the local to the global, from the I to the from the north to the south, from the west to the east, all cultures, all borders, all peoples, all life. We can come together and ignite home for all, to which all belong. This is the prayer. This is the song. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. Let's go home. Around the world, walking home. Happy International Day of Peace! All around the world, we're uniting, all around the world, gathering and praying and dreaming this vision into being a peace on earth. It starts within each and every one of our hearts, right here, right now, in this moment. Seeding the seeds of change here in the temple of our bodies, co-creating heaven on earth. Homecoming. We are all becoming who we need to be to hold off this catastrophe, down on our knees with prayers for peace for this indivisible family. Around the world, feel the hearts opening. Around the world, feel the hands extending. Around the world, feel this movement coming. All cultures, all peoples, one planet, one hope. Yeah.
Because I'm listening to her at the same time. Here we go. It's gonna be it's gonna be a little strange because I'm going back and forth between two computers, looking at one computer on what's happening on Unite for Peace, and then of course working on this one. So I'm doing my Keith Emerson playing two keyboards at the same time routine with you guys. So thank you for being patient. All right, I want to read some of the wonderful comments from all of you. Dr. Laura writes, this song is perfect. Yeah, she was also having, I'm so sorry to read this. Some people are having trouble catching the Unite for Peace hubcast. I'm sorry to hear that there's a lot of technology issues. But Tatiana has good words, is what Susan writes. And Ayada writes, one of my favorite Tatiana songs. This one still brings me to tears, so vividly imagining what she's saying, the beautiful seeds being planted. Okay, and Ayada wrote, for me, peace is a state of harmony that results when everyone involved agrees to learn to coexist with intentional kindness and compassion to ensure that everyone has their needs met Resources are shared, stewarded wisely, and everybody remember to be muted. Somebody isn't muted. So please keep yourselves muted, everybody. Thank you. Back to Ayada's beautiful vision for peace, that everyone is safe. All are committed to learning these interpersonal communication and connection skills, peacekeeping skills, and where we create the systems that provide such education and support worldwide. Beautiful. Thank you, Ayada. And I know a little higher up, Ellie wrote something beautiful. Here's Ellie. For me, peace no matter what is happening. Trusting that all that is happening is giving us an opportunity to see how much we have grown and how we respond to all the challenges within and around us. I am peace, and I spread the peace within me to those around me. Thank you, Ellie. That's beautiful. All right, I'm going to try playing again this video. Hopefully it's going to play this time. And this was, again, edited by Tatiana. So Tatiana is a big part of tonight's show. She edited this and she narrated it, taking 19 different video clips sent by our new generation of leaders for an awakening world.
The next generation of leaders for an awakening world are rising. We come from every corner of this planet. We are every color. We speak every language, and we are filled with dreams. On the International Day of Peace, we let our voices ripple out.